would you like to leave with the audience, bullet point style, if you will. So we're going to go first to our first speaker. So Brian, since we heard from you first, would you like to start with a wrap-up of summation, some key takeaways?
Sure. I think the most important thing about patent portfolio management is communication. And I think the most important attribute of communication is using empathy to communicate with people, to not send your instructions late to foreign associates, to not have demands on them that would be extreme in their culture, to understand that, for example, in Japan, examiners are seen as really high-level technical people, and sometimes the foreign associates don't want to contradict people that they look up to or that are their mentors or university professors. And so you have to understand that when you're asking them to advocate, you're asking them to argue with someone who's, in their culture is considered someone you wouldn't argue with. And so you need to be more respectful of that. There's all sorts of little things like that you'll find out if you ask questions and listen and learn and think about concerns other than your own. Then as we move on to, crafting applications with a global perspective, you have to think about the various jurisdictions you're going to be filing in. If you're in a situation where you're only filing in the United States, then you can file cases the way you've always done it. But if you're going to be filing globally, or if you're going to be filing in Germany nationally or something like that, you're going to have to adapt your approach to that. And then one of the biggest things is to find out what the client wants. And the story I told, our client wanted to save money without giving up anything on IP quality. And what we found was compress the font and you can save yourself $100,000. So that's one for that. And then the last is AI, which I just think is so much fun, and we'll see how that works out. But it's a developing field. They just came out yesterday with a ruling that AI cannot be an inventor in the U.S. Patent Office, and it'll be fun to see if we adjust our laws now to allow that to happen, or if AI just has to turn to other ways to get protection. There's going to be money behind it that wants it protected. There's going to be inventions coming out, and it'll be a fun thing for the next few years to watch how this parses out.
And thank you for that, Brian. Peter Hanschke, some key takeaways, please.
So I'll just leave you with three key takeaways here. The first is that there's been a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of patenting done in this space, text analytics space, machine learning, deep learning. So it has really matured over the past decade, and it's going to continue to mature through the 20s. Software is going to improve, it's going to find its way on the market, and we're just going to get better with this over time. Second point is that managing patent portfolios in the next decade, in the 20s, is really going to have to rely on analytics, on text analytics and other techniques. We've seen a massive decrease in IP teams, and the workload just has continued to increase. The whole patent portfolio management needs help, and text analytics and machine learning are going to provide that help for us. And lastly, text analytics is an augmentation, step to using the manual methods that we use today, i.e., reading patents. They both have to be used together, and when you use them both together, the improvement is going to be very, very noticeable. Thanks, Al.